Hello guys, I am here to show you how to make a coffee filter rose, and it is a real size rose. So it measures approximately, I'd say about 4 inches by 4 inches in diameter. From the petals to the top of the flower, it's roughly around 2.5 inches, and the base or the stem, you can determine how long you would like it. So this flower is more for altered art projects, not so much for a scrapbook or anything. Even it's a little bulky for the outside of a album also, so it's more for like maybe frames or jewelry boxes or centerpieces for that matter. What you're going to need in terms of supplies is a pair of scissors, a stylist, or some kind of tool that is small in circumference, so that you can manipulate the petals at the end, a pencil, floral wire, floral tape, coffee filters. You need these cone-shaped coffee filters to make this rose, a vessel for water, a paintbrush. I'm just using my kid's paintbrush. It's nothing fancy or expensive. Wire cutters to cut your wire, and some kind of paint. I'm going to make my rose yellow, but you can make it any color you wish. It just should be water based because we're going to blend the color, and the coffee filter works best with paints that are water soluble. So this paint has a little bit of glitter in it, or shimmer, so that I like the effect that this makes, but I won't be using the nozzle, the spray nozzle for this. You could choose to do so if you wish. And if you did, you probably wouldn't need the water in the paintbrush. So let's get started. We're going to move this stuff out of the way and start with our basic. You're going to want to make your wire long enough to work with, but not too long because it will get in the way. I would say approximately 9 to 10 inches long. And so you want to cut the wire, and then you don't need the wire after that, or the wire cutter. Then you want to get your tape ready and set that aside for just a second. The important thing is I'm going to be working upside down for you. I'll try to, at least. See this edge right here? There's a pleated edge here that keeps the seam closed. But when we're working and tracing the pattern, you want to use this edge and put your pattern on that edge. Now, you might be wondering where I got this pattern. I had seen a couple tutorials on YouTube, and they had one of them linked you to, or told you and cited that Martha Stewart was where they got the pattern for this and the template. But I went on Martha's website and looked all under paper flowers, and they did not have this template or even the tutorial for this. So basically this is my template that I just looked around and what worked best for me, so I just drew it by hand. The number 3 here represents, for my own reference, that I need to cut 3 of these out. So we will cut this out, and what I will do now is speed up the process here and then come back to back. We have all the pieces. I cut this out 5 times, maybe 6, but extra ones are fine. They add more fullness to the flower, but 5 is all you really need. 3 of these, and if you watched, this is not cut, so this is a fold right there, and then 3 of these. Alright, so let's start building our flower. What you need to do is first start with this piece, and you fold it in half. Now you see this part, that's what keeps the coffee filter closed on the bottom, so there you don't want to open it. You could, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult because this is going to be the center. Then you fold it again, so you fold it 4 times, and I will show you that again because we have 3 pieces. Now what I like to do is, because if you set it, the wire in the middle of this gap, it still has a tendency to come undone. So I typically, let's see, I try to get it on the base as close as possible. It's hard and tricky, but get your tape. And the thing is about this process is that when you use floral tape, as much as you want to wind it really tight so you get a nice secure fit, a lot of times your tape will break in the process. But that looks pretty closed. Now, in order, then you need to take this piece and take this one again, and you fold it in half, and you fold it in fourths again. So you have this. You don't have to go all the way to the top because you will be opening these. Now, I like to put this one like this, almost like a heart shape. And we're using 3 of these, so you really have to be aware of that wire in there and get it as tight as possible without ripping the floral tape, because if your wire moves on you, then the flower in the end process won't work out right, and all your work, you'll have to start over or chuck the idea, because that's what I do most of the time. Your last piece like this, fold it in half again, and then fold it in the fourth. Now you had the heart shape. You see you have that part right there. I like to make sure, and it's hard because it's folded, but that open part be in the back, or the folded part on the opposite side of the 2. And then you, as tight as possible. And this is where you don't want to chintz out on the tape, because if you do, then it'll fall apart, and then we'll have a disaster. Alright, So we've got the basic inside of the flower. Now what we do is take this part, and where it was creased there from the original coffee filter, you open it up. Now this is going to get hidden inside the flower, but I tend to cut it off anyhow. You could cut it off prior to that too. Now see how much longer that is? You just sort of want to match it up. You don't want it way up here because that wouldn't look right. So you match it up to where the tip of the, it can be a little bit longer, but then you just wrap it